Today, in the media conference with Lal Goyal, which is brought to you by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, News Gaon Se, Samvad Sarokar News, Organ Donation India Foundation and Gyan, our endeavor is to bring to you and enlighten you on the current topic. And today, our topic is lockdown lessons of teachers. But before I will come to our topic, I would like to inform you that today is the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. December 3rd is an International Day of Persons with Disabilities promoted by the United Nations since 1992. It has been observed with varying degrees of success around the planet. The observance of the day aims to promote an understanding of disability issues and mobilize support for the dignity, rights, and well-being of persons with disabilities. It also seeks to increase awareness of gains to be derived from the integration of persons with disabilities in every aspect of political, social, economic, and cultural life. It was originally called International Day of Disabled Persons until 2007. Each year, the day focuses on a different issue. UNESCO will mark the International Day of Persons with Disabilities with a week-long program from 25th November to 3rd December 2020 under the theme Building Back Better Towards an Inclusive, Accessible, and Sustainable Post-COVID-19 World by, for, and with persons with disabilities. By observing this day, we want to support for the dignity, rights, and well-being of persons with disabilities. Today, India is also celebrating Advocates' Day. On December 3rd, every year, the lawyer community of India celebrates Advocates' Day. The holiday marks the birth anniversary of Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the first president of India who also was a very eminent lawyer. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was born on December 3rd, 1884. Having graduated from school, he studied at the Presidency College in Calcutta and the University of Calcutta. Initially, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was a science student. In 1907, he completed his MA in economics and began teaching. In 1909, Dr. Rajendra Prasad decided to pursue law studies. He completed his bachelor in law in 1910 and passed his master's in law in 1915, receiving a gold medal. The following year, Dr. Rajendra Prasad joined the High Court of Bihar and Odisha. He also practiced law in the city of Bhagalpur. Dr. Rajendra Prasad's career as a lawyer was quite lucrative, but in 1920, he decided to retire in order to aid the independence movement. Nevertheless, in 1937, he completed his doctorate in law, receiving a degree from Allahabad University. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected the first president of India in 1950, following the adoption of the Constitution. We wish all a very happy Advocates' Day. Now, coming to our topic, that is lockdown lessons of the teachers. I hope I live the rest of my life keeping in mind the lessons I learned from the global experience and never take living for granted again. Teachers are the next level of COVID warriors, fighting for the nation and shaping the future of tomorrow. Without teachers, life would have no class. Teachers have three loves: love of learning, love of learners, and the love of bringing the first two loves together. A teacher is a symbol of good, of truth, of purity, and of lifelong learning. Ancient India has revered teachers, guru, holding their status as that above the Almighty. The teacher is the Param Brahma, beyond the divine, the creator, the preserver, and the destroyer. A teacher creates ideas and ideals, preserves a sense of truth, justice, and fairness, and destroys evil in both misintention and misdeed. The world in which we live is in a state of flux. It was impossible to have imagined even a year ago that over 1 billion children globally would be pushed out of schools in 2020. COVID-19 has triggered an unprecedented use of technology in the teaching and learning process. While the teachers learned the technical and grappled with the logistics needed for the delivering virtual learning, these online classrooms also opened a world of opportunities to reimagine what learning could look like in the years to come. How important is a teacher's mental health and wellness for quality learning in the classroom? How do stress and anxiety impact their teaching? Do the stakeholders recognize that teachers have been put under inordinate amounts of stress lately? What can school and others do to ensure mental well-being of the teacher community? 90 million school teachers world over and 6 million in India have been at the front line of damage control of COVID-19 pandemic by ensuring that learning reaches their learners seamlessly during the lockdown. When schools switched to online learning mode, it fell upon most teachers stranded at home under lockdown conditions to pick up technical skills without the benefit of any formal training. Pitted against all the odds, such as lack of technical know-how, digital skills, virtual learning resources, and cyber safety protocols, the teachers emerged victorious when they managed to proudly sit before a laptop to teach their remote learner in the online class. Teachers who are intimidated by technology now have to take the bull by its horn. For many who are proficient at planning and teaching in the traditional classroom, planning for an online setting requires some relearning. Finding the right online teaching platform is just the first step. Learning how to use the various features correctly is important. But using a platform and its features to teach effectively and ensure that all students are indeed learning is paramount. But more than anything, online classrooms have brought up the issues of classroom management. If teachers thought they had enough trouble keeping their classroom in order earlier, that is nothing compared to the woes of remote classrooms. It is very sad to hear long-term educators asking for help with managing students online. This is not limited to teachers of higher grades. Those who teach the pre-primary and primary grades are worried too. How can I keep the children attentive? What length of class is appropriate for them? They are so young. Will online teaching even be effective for them? How can I ensure effectiveness? For schools training teachers to become adept at teaching online is a Herculean task. Ensuring that they have the right hardware and good internet connectivity is another. Helping teachers transition to virtual classroom and essentially a brand new way of doing things has virtually become a reality. The COVID-19 pandemic, due to its unprecedented scale and unique response strategies, has had a critical impact on children's education, particularly of those from marginalized sectors. Besides the disruption in the school year, there is a risk that prolonged out-of-school learning may lead to alienation of children from school system and worsening of existing inequalities. We could see disruptions in continuity of schooling for girls and children of those who migrated back from urban to rural areas after losing livelihood post the abrupt imposition of the lockdown. School teachers have also been impacted immensely. India's school education system includes 10,93,166 contractual teachers at the elementary level. These teachers in many states like Bihar and Delhi were not receiving their salary for several months, even before the pandemic broke out. The coming of the pandemic has made their situation bleaker. This has made contractual teachers uncertain about continued employment. Despite all these difficulties, teachers are playing a significant role during the lockdown. And to discuss today's topic, that is lockdown lessons of teachers, we have a very elite, educated, experienced panel with us. I would like to invite my first guest. He is Dr. Rajiv Anand. Dr. Rajiv Anand is the senior psychiatrist and marriage counselor. Dr. Rajiv Anand passed his MBBS in 1976 and did MD in psychiatry in 1980 from King's George Medical College, Lucknow. He opted to serve his country when it was very common to settle abroad for brighter future. He has been serving society with his base in Mumbai. He has clients all over India as well as in many other countries. He was honored with Lifetime Achievement Award by AMA. He has conducted more than 3,000 workshops for different groups and companies with audience size of 10 to 800. His television program on various channels have been widely appreciated for his forthright and practical approach. He is leading in the field of mental and emotional well-being for 40 years. He was president of IMA for 2 times. He was interviewed in several talk shows in domestic and internationally. And today, to discuss the lockdown lessons of teachers, Dr. Rajiv Anand, you are invited and please join our show. You are most welcome. Now, Dr. Rajiv Anand, as you are a leading psychiatrist in Mumbai, you are dealing with everyone of the society, all sects of the society, and you are also dealing with the teachers. Now, we would like to know lockdown lessons of teachers from Dr. Rajiv Anand, please.
Good morning, Mr. Lal. Good morning, all my co-panelists. Welcome to this bright morning. And Mr. Lal has set the ball rolling. Many points which he has spoken, so pertinent points, which made my task easier. Thank you for that. Uh, teachers, teachers' experiences or teachers' lessons in the last 8 months or so. As in the other program also, we have heard many people speaking that this has been the toughest time for everyone. Last 8 months have been the toughest time for every individual in whichever walk of life one may be. But for teachers, I believe they have passed through the most tough time of their life. And what's the basis of my saying so? Because usually we see things from distance and we do not realize the travails or the difficulties of what people go through. Before I talk about teacher, I very strongly believe in the process of teaching. Teaching. Let me also say at the outset that I'm very strongly indebted to my teachers who have made me whatever, wheresoever I am. If I can speak 4 sentences of English with least grammatical mistake, is my teachers. If today I could read some books and could assimilate some thoughts and could gather some confidence to speak out in front of all of you, it's because of teachers. It's teachers who have subtly shaped me over the years. Had they not been there, I wouldn't have been there. So each of us individual, whichever part of the world one may be, is a final, finish, very subtly labored on product of the teachers. That's different thing that in today's world, everybody feel entitled to comment on teachers or on doctors, or maybe some section of every profession has gone in a different path to earn more money than doing the duties. So with the teachers, so with the doctors, so with the advocates, but that doesn't mean that all of them are the same type. Coming back to what I was saying, teaching, the work teaching is more important than the teachers. And the last 8 months brought down the teaching process under cloud, under difficult time. Let's imagine if the light goes off right now, what we shall do. If the Wi-Fi goes off, if the network works low, we won't be connected. If the power breakdown is there, all of us would face the blanket screen. Teachers face the toughest time because they were supposed to do a very delicate process of passing on the knowledge, taking care of their wards, taking care of their students, motivating them, keeping them focused, keeping them concentrated on the subject being taught, preventing the distraction from all around, continuing the process of teaching, helping in the process of continuation, the teaching on the part of the teacher as well as the part of the students. And as all of us would agree, much unlike any other process, even me as a doctor, well, I'm a different kind of a doctor, psychotherapist or a counselor or psychiatrist. So I also need a lot of concentration, a lot of focus in my mind before I help someone else. But say other profession or other general practitioners or other people can still work even if the surrounding atmosphere is not adequate or is not optimum. But can teachers work? Because when they sit down to teach someone, they need to have a very conducive atmosphere. They're not just reading a book to pass on to someone through verbal masses that this is what the lesson is. They need to put entire being. Hats off to Mr. Raja sir, Mona, or Deep Mala. Three of them sitting before us have had first-hand experience of the biggest challenges what they have faced in the last 8 months because the backup at home is not school, it's not a teaching institution. There is a family, there are family members, there are children, there are other key relatives, there are other ring bell. Somebody has to be served breakfast, somebody has to be served lunch, some guest has to come, some other phone calls come. Everybody is not living in 5 BHK home. Everybody is not living in a bungalow. Everybody is not living far away from the road, traffic, road noise. One could peacefully focus on the teaching. There are distractions from the road noise and whatnot. And battling those distractions, the teacher has to remain focused on his main task of teaching. Hats off to all of them who have tided over this last 8 months. Since teaching doesn't happen to be a mechanical profession of reading out pages, one has to put his heart. It doesn't happen to be something you take inside and you vomit it out. That what many students feel कि हम पढ़ेंगे और पढ़ के एग्जाम में हम जाके लिखते हैं और हम पास हो जाएंगे. Teaching is far from it. Teacher has to speak from his heart, from his earned wisdom. So he has to be connected to his deeper self in the best possible way, and that's where the challenges were. What teachers in that conducive atmosphere, in that insulated atmosphere, in that soundproof, peaceful atmosphere where no distraction, no disturbances, nothing would come in the way, practical answer is known to all of us that no, it was not there for all of us. I may be a doctor by profession. My designation will be called doctor, but partly I'm a teacher because I teach people in dealing problems, how to deal with the problems in their life created by others or created by themselves and grow. My teaching is of a different kind. So I share the pain of all the panelists over here. One has to be in the best emotional state to be able to connect to whomsoever you want to talk to something. And I have seen, I've interacted with many teachers in the last few weeks or few months, and I have a genuine appreciation and admiration that they have kept the process of teaching alive. They fought against the heavy odds. It's not just giving a lecture, it's not just speaking on a mic, it's not speaking on Zoom. Is connecting to the student and helping him, motivating him, and ensuring him that he remain connected. And that's not a small challenge. And most teachers have done wonderful job in the last 8 9 months or so. I'm more keen to, and I'm looking forward to hear the experiences of Deepmala Talwar from Jhansi, which I heard is a wonderful person, and Mona Chetta from Lucknow, and Ali Raja sir from Bombay, who has been in the private tuition. They have had varied experiences. Let us hear from them. I shall add few more points in my second round. Over to you, Mr. Dalal.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anand. And Dr. Anand says, without teachers, he gave his example, but yes, it is a fact that without teachers, no one whatsoever, whether he's a doctor, whether he's an officer, and whether he's a politician, anyone, without teachers, no one can become what they are today. But what he said is a very important point. He says that there are problems faced by almost everyone. But the problems faced by the teaching community is a peculiar because they have to see the internet has to be working properly. There should be no disturbance. Even at home, if there should not be a disturbance because there are many times you have to serve the breakfast, you have to cook the food, and some guests are coming like that. And he said the teaching has to be done from heart, which is very important. It's not like this that you just swallow something and then omit or vomit something. It's you have to teach and you have to see that the students learn properly. And according to Dr. Rajiv Anand, in last 8-9 months, because he has come across with many patients, with many those who are facing problems, he came out across with the teachers also, but he says that teachers have kept their profession intact and they are teaching by heart. Black sheeps are in all the professions or all the businesses or all the field, but still the teachers are in high esteem because this is a very, very difficult time. And if the teachers are shaping the new generation, it is a very, very applaudable thing which the teachers are doing. Thank you very much, Dr. Rajiv Anand, for giving your views, opening remarks. Now I would like to invite my next guest, and he is Mr. Mohammad Raza. Mr. Raza is a full-time private tutor. He is into this profession of teaching for past 29 years. He had the privilege of teaching special students having learning disabilities or the slow learners. He has taught spoken English and Hindi language to several foreigners also. Welcome, Mr. Mohammad Raza on our show. Mr. Raza, you have heard what Dr. Rajiv Anand has said, and you have also heard what I have read the report, which clearly says that it's a very, very Herculean task for a teacher to teach in this difficult time. Now, we would like to know the lockdown lessons of teachers from Mr. Mohammad Raza, please.
Good morning to all the co-panelists, and thank you, Mr. Lal, for inviting us for this discussion. Today, I'm going to throw light on the positive and the negative impacts of challenges which educators face. We all know that COVID-19 coronavirus has put everyone in a state of uncertainty. This uncertainty has affected almost every sector and every business. Thus, it has impacted basically the future of our country. Now, it has been more than 7 months since the nationwide lockdown was announced. For the last couple of months, the Ministry of Home Affairs has slowly allowed resuming normal work, that also in phases. The education sector is one of the fields that was majorly affected. Online schools were started so that the students should continue their education. They should not miss on their education. However, teachers had to face many difficulties. Some of the difficulties which teachers were facing, I have listed them. Like first one, previously a teacher was a teacher only during her school working hours. There had never been a need for a teacher to share her personal mobile number with students. But now the case is different. The teachers have to constantly stay in contact not only with the school, but also with the parents and students. This has added more workload along with the already existing challenges of lockdown that we all are going through. The second major challenge in front of teaching was the use of technology. Before lockdown, there had never been any need for the school teachers to use such a technology. But now many teachers have to learn how group video calling worked and how to use Google Classroom to send notes and other study materials. The positive aspect of this is that we all came out of our comfort zone and got to learn the use of so many different applications. यानी जो इतने सालों में नहीं सीखा वो लॉकडाउन ने सिखा दिया. So we all must be thankful for lockdown because it turned out to be a blessing in disguise in a way. Thirdly, I would say that lockdown disrupted a teacher's work and life balance. Previously, people were managing with one laptop at home. But now, since in many families there are two kids, three kids, and their online classes timings are clashing, and also now there is more need of having more number of gadgets. After lockdown, there has been increased use of electronic gadgets by children, and because they need to do their homework and they need to do online classes, they need to complete their assignments. Moreover, teachers often have to answer questions that are outside their field of work. For example, they would receive call from parents asking about the technicalities of certain applications that the child is using for learning. Fourthly, there has been an increased stress of for the possible pay cut. We all know that a large number of people have lost their jobs because of the financial problem which the employers were facing. Many of the employers themselves are in a going through financial crisis, so they have put out many of the employees from their offices. So there is always a fear of losing the job, and many of the private teachers in my circle, they have been complaining that even after reducing the tuition fees by considerably, the number of students that they have this year is less than half what they usually used to have. One of the reasons for this could be most parents are now confident that since the physical school has not started, so the child is going to get promoted anyways, whether they take classes or they don't take classes. Because same thing happened last year. Most of the students were promoted even without taking exams. The positive aspect of this event is that the teachers have learned to be more patient and they have got a lot of time for self reflection and prayers. Another positive aspect is that since we have swept to online learning, I would not say teaching, I would say learning, because teachers are also learning and students are also learning new things. Another positive aspect of is that since we have swept to online learning, teachers have learned a lot of about some weak children, which they would have never got the time to find out in a normal school setting. Many of the students backbenchers, they don't even know what is going on in the school, and teachers are busy focusing on students who are attentive and who are answering. But now, since the classes are taking place on Zoom and Google Meet, when teacher is asking a question, a child is answering the question, that in the chat box, that answer goes to each and every child, and every child gets enough time to go through the answer. During the lockdown, I was positively surprised by the ability of some of my students to cope with the solution, to cope with the situation. I'm sorry, and adapting themselves to the change. Matlab, they have immense potential. There are so many things which even we don't know, but children know about computers and laptop. The lockdown has also allowed some shy students to make their contributions via chat. Previously, they were too reluctant to answer and they would try to refrain from giving any answer. But now, since they are the teacher is physically sometimes not present, so they are putting their contributions via chat. Now, after looking at the whole scenario, I sincerely believe that we need to emphasize on the importance of using technology in education. Up till now, we have been teaching students about the dates of history. On this date, this war battle happened. On that date, this happened. That all thing never proved to be fruitful in today's situation. When things, even when things are back to normal, we need to emphasize more on using technology for education, because in this pandemic we have seen how essential the use of technology is for a in education field. Many software developers have started to realize that the whole market of software package is emerging for schools, because now there is a need for new software where they can send their homework assignments. Moreover, lockdown has brought me to the realization that we need to give some time to ourselves also. First, we were running in the mad rat race, we were always busy in doing the routine work, but now we have got some time for self assessment and self reflection. And we understand that we need to take breaks in between from the computer screen. and take very good care of our own health so that we can bring a positive change in students. First, we need to be healthy ourselves, and we have to develop some good habits which we never bothered. We were always busy in our routine work. Some of the lessons which I have learned during this lockdown, there are many lessons, but the most important which I feel is that we must, it is good to be positive in life, but we must always be ready for tough times. We must never forget that tough times are part of our life, and we need to be ready for any possible adversities that may show up at our door anytime. We all need to be more sensitive to the needs of our loved ones and others. And finally, I have understood the truth of the sentence that everything passes away, only God and His love remains.
Only God and His love remains, says Mr. Raja. And what Mr. Raja has said, 2, 3 points, very important points. First point, what he said is that because of the online education, the mobile numbers of the teachers are now with all the students, and not only the students, with the parents. And because it is an extra burden for a teacher. Earlier, he was just talking or teaching in the classroom. He's sharing his views to the college or school if required. But in this case, now even anytime the parents call up, they ask questions, even the students ask questions on odd times, which is giving an extra burden, mental burden on the teachers. Secondly, he says that because of the lockdown and the conditions which are prevailing, the financial conditions of a teacher is bad, because many of the schools or colleges are not getting the number of students which they were supposed to get earlier, which they were having earlier. And even if they are getting, they have to reduce the tuition fees drastically. Still, they are not getting that much, and that in proportionate, definitely it is impacting the earning of a teacher. Thirdly, he says the mentally, the teacher, because he has to be online, he has to see that he has to be fit every time to teach. These are the challenges which he explained. But positiveness, what he said is that the teachers have become more tech savvy. They have learned many things which they were not knowing earlier. Secondly, it is very good for those students who are the backbenchers or who are weak or who were shy, because earlier they were not replying positively, properly in the classes. And the teachers were also not giving that much attention to them. They were giving attention to those who were quite bright students, or who are sitting in the front benches, or who are replying whenever there is a question asked. But here, those students can even put up on the chat box, so the replies are coming, and that's a positive sign. And he says that the learning which we have learned is that we must be positive. We have to face any type of situation, any type of tough situation can come anytime. So we have to be ready. Thank you very much, Mr. Raja, for giving your such a good views. Now I would like to invite my next guest, and she is Miss Mona Chadda. Miss Mona Chadda is a dedicated and professional educator with a solid commitment to the social and academic growth and development of every child. Ms. Chadda studied at St. Mary's Convent Inter College, Lucknow, done a specialization in mathematics from Lucknow University. She did B.Ed from Ranchi University. She also did bridge course from Lucknow. She received Best Teacher Award 3 times in her 20 years of teaching. Welcome, Ms. Mona Chadda on our show. Ms. Chadda, you have heard what Dr. Rajiv Anand has mentioned, what Mr. Raja has mentioned. Now, we would like to know from you the lockdown lessons of teachers. Ms. Mona Chadda, please.
Thank you, Mr. Lal. First of all, a very good morning to all my fellow panelists. I would like to extend my warm wishes to all my dear students and my seniors who are watching this show right now. As I have been introduced that I am a professional educator, I feel extremely privileged to be taking on such an important point today in this conference. As far as Dr. Rajiv Anand said and Mr. Raza said, the consequences and the positiveness and the negative views on this, most of the points I agree to them also. As we all know that the world as we know it has changed in the blink of an eye. School closed overnight. students were liberated from the schools. It was a very tough time for the teachers to understand how to teach, which which point we have to teach, what you can say that the those were the challenging times when we started out, and we were not teaching also, we were also learning, because we were not very assured of all these techniques which we are using nowadays. So we have also learned. That was not simple for the teachers, it was a tough time. But yes, now some negative what we have noticed, that as that there firstly students and teachers, they have realized that how exhausting it for the since long the screens are on and we have to sit for a long time. Earlier, when we used to go to school before the lockdown for 6 hours, we used to go, and children used to sit in the class, and we used to teach, and we used to come back. But now, as for the lockdown, we used to sit on the screen the whole time, and children also. So they have a problem of eyesight also. Many of the parents, they are complaining that, ma'am, it's a problem for the eyesight also. But what to do? We are all helpless. Everybody is facing this problem. The next thing what I have noticed is that our numbers, of course, Mr. Raza said that our numbers, now our numbers are with each and every parent. So a negative point is that regarding this our numbers is that at any time they're calling us. Some of the parents are calling for the proper reason that this technique is not properly working, so we have to do how. Now for that we are not so used to, we also have to learn. Now Mr. Raza said like that, so we have to focus on each and everything, and we have to respond. Sometimes at 11 p.m. parents are calling for some reason that my child is sick, so and so and so and so. So we have to respond, no other option is there. Then secondly, that for each and everything children are calling us, we have to be there on each and every time on the mobiles. We have to plan our lesson plan more effectively. We have to make our classrooms more friendly so that children take interest in studies, because earlier in the classrooms we used to have teaching aids, friendly atmosphere, all the children are sitting, they also face the proper discipline was there in the school. And in houses, in homes, that is not possible. Children are coming in the Google Classroom, we are teaching online, but still the lackness of discipline is still there. What they were receiving in the school, they are not ready to give in that home. At least we are trying our level best, but it is not possible, of course, to give best in the home also. Then some negative points, some positive what I have noticed is that children that I would never have had the time to find out about in school, they are ready to ask the questions, they are ready to answer, they are ready to chat. Their fear have gone, because maybe the teachers are not in front, so their fear have gone. Now since we swapped to online learning, I am positively surprised by the ability and organizational skills of our students to cope with the associated independence. And in addition to that, I believe that the pandemic has also allowed some of the more introvert students, those who were not speaking at all in the class, now they have started speaking. They are sharing their problems in the chat box or on the WhatsApp group to make contributions via chat in some cases, or more than they would in a classroom environment. So all these things, in the pandemic, with this pandemic, I have learned a lot. First of all, the problem is that earlier we used to have only one laptop, one computer, but nowadays if a person is having two kids at home, so each child at the same time they need mobile or the laptop, so there is a problem. Then there was no network connection in every houses, it was not compulsory, but nowadays it is compulsory to have the network connections at every house, otherwise they won't be able to connect with the teachers. So even teachers also, we also have to be on our toes to have the internet problem. Like suppose if I am facing that my son is also there and my son is also studying at the same time on my mobile and I'm on the desktop or the laptop and connectivity goes, for example, so I need to tell him to stop, because that is for me more important as a teacher, more important to guide my children or to inculcate the values to my children. So I tell my child to, you stop, that I have to take the classes just now. So these are the problems we are facing. But the main problem what I have faced is that lack of discipline. Children have become rowdy. Parents are complaining that children are not listening. They are on the mobile. They are taking the advantage actually. Classes for suppose 3 hours or 2 hours or 3 or 4 hours. So children are taking the advantage and they are befooling their parents that ma'am send the message I have to be on the mobile. And in spite of their classes, they are using the mobile on the video games on the mobiles. The parents are complaining to us, okay, ma'am, they are saying that they are on in the classes because most of the parents are working, both mother and father, they are working. They have given their mobiles to their children and they are studying, but they are taking the advantage of this that my classes are going on and ma'am has sent me the message or the homework I need to do and I need to do the Google form and this and that, and they are playing the video games. So these are the disadvantages, but the advantage is that we have learned a lot as a teacher, that in the digital world, because we were not so equipped with this mobiles and the computer network. So we have learnt a lot. And at last, I will say that remote learning has reminded us powerful learning can only happen when we are engaged, energetic, and focused. So at last, teachers have to be on their toes. They have to be energetic. They have to create their classrooms friendly and almost focused on their concepts. And one more thing that I have noticed is that in the school, our total focus were on the classes, our concepts. But at home, what we have to do is that we have to, at the same time, we have to focus on our concepts, what we are dealing with the students. At the same time, we have to see our families also, because during the lock time, what I have noticed is that our family has become more dependent on us, because the whole time we were at home. So they were expecting to give or to serve everything on the time, but at the same time we have to deal with our students also. So lot of things at the same time were going in our mind, to deal with the students also, to serve our family members also, to see our kids also. So this was the toughest time, but we have learned a lot.
It's a very toughest time, but we have learned a lot, says Ms. Mona Chadda. And she's agreed with Mr. Raja. She said that number sharing with the parents and with the student has become a headache for the teacher, because now the parents are calling, some for the genuine reason, but otherwise somebody is calling in that 11 o'clock in the night, they have to answer, and even the students are giving calls. But one more thing which is very alarming, which she said, is that the children are fooling their parents and the teacher, because a teacher is assigned some work to them for 3 or 4 hours, but they are telling the parents that the teacher has asked us to do more work and have to be online, and they are watching the videos or they are chatting with their friends, etc., which is not good as far as for the upbringing of the child. But according to her, the positive side is also there, that so many things have been learned, and especially for those who are introvert children, and they are coming out with the either through the message or through the chat box, they are expressing their views, and so the development of those children are taking place. But she says that is a tough time and we have to learn, and especially for a lady teacher, it's more tough, because the society in India believes, and in many places, I will not say all over India, many places, that the lady of the house has to serve them for their needs. And that's why the lady teacher has to serve to the family needs, giving them the food on time, everything, as well as to take care of the children or the students. So it is a very, very tough time for a lady teacher in those places where still that type of feelings or orthodoxness is there in those families, where they expect only the lady has to serve, not the man or the husband has to do the work. But she says that in spite of that, we are learned and we are happy that we are doing so much good work, and the students are also being educated. Thank you very much, Ms. Mona Chadda, for giving your frank opinions and your views about the lockdown lessons of the teachers. Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite my next guest, and she is Ms. Deepmala Talwar. Ms. Deepmala Talwar is the ex-district coordinator, Basic Education Department, Lalitpur, Miss Talwar has done BA Diploma in Mental Retardation and B.Ed in Mental Retardation. She is having 20 years of experience in Basic Education Department, Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, as a District Coordinator, Integrated Education for Disabled. Welcome, Ms. Talwar, on our show. Ms. Talwar, you have already heard what Dr. Rajiv Anand, what Mr. Raja, as well as what Ms. Mona Chadda has spoken. Now, we would like to know from you the lockdown lessons of teachers. Ms. Deepmala Talwar, please.
Thank you for Mr. Lal Goel for introducing me for this session. आजकल जो लॉकडाउन पीरियड में जो हमारी शिक्षा चल रही है वो ऑनलाइन शिक्षा है और ये इसको हम ऑनलाइन इमरजेंसी रिमोट एजुकेशन भी कह सकते हैं क्योंकि बहुत सारी रिसर्च के बाद ये ऑनलाइन शिक्षा हमारे यूज में जो लाई जा रही है और बहुत से देशों में ये काफी समय से इस्तेमाल इसको किया जा रहा है। आमने सामने की पढ़ाई जो है वो ऑनलाइन जो आमने सामने की हमारी पढ़ाई है वो ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन के मुकाबले ज़्यादा अच्छी होती है। इसमें बच्चे जो टीचर्स की बातों को बहुत अच्छे से समझ लेते हैं और ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन में बच्चों को थोड़ी दिक्कतों का सामना टीचर्स के द्वारा जो समझाया जाता है उसमें सामना करना पड़ता है। ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन को इमरजेंसी रिमोट टीचिंग भी कहा जा सकता है। इसके लिए जो कोविड-19 में जो हमारे पढ़ने पढ़ाने का जो तरीका है वो बिल्कुल बदल गया है और लॉकडाउन के दौरान ऑनलाइन टीचिंग टीचर्स के लिए एक बहुत ही बड़ी चुनौती हो गई है, बहुत बड़ी चैलेंज है टीचर्स के सामने और सभी स्कूल इस समय ऑनलाइन क्लासेस कंडक्ट कर रहे हैं। ये क्लासेस चलाना टीचर्स के लिए बहुत ही चैलेंजिंग काम होता जा रहा है जिसका कोई एडवांटेज भी उन्हें नहीं मिल रहा है। ऑनलाइन टीचिंग जो है वो आजकल एक नया ट्रेंड है पर इसकी अलग बात ये होती है कि ये टीचर्स की ये जो है खुशी खुशी नहीं इसको मजबूरी के साथ भी ऑप्ट किया जा रहा है और ये कहना ही बहुत मुश्किल है कि फिजिकल क्लासेस बच्चों की कब से शुरू हो पाएंगी, खासकर छोटे बच्चों की जिन्हें ऑनलाइन पढ़ाना बहुत ही मुश्किल काम है। टीचर्स के लिए ये बहुत बड़ी परेशानी है, इसमें मेहनत ज़्यादा होती है और टीचर्स की मेहनत के मुकाबले जो होता है वो उनको उनकी मेहनत को जो होता है वो हम लोग कंपेयर कम कर पाते हैं कि टीचर्स कितना ज़्यादा मेहनत कर रहे हैं और टीचर्स के लिए बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस हैं जो लॉकडाउन पीरियड में टीचर्स को जिसका सामना करना पड़ रहा है। इसमें टर्निंग टीचिंग मटेरियल जो होते हैं टीचर्स को इनको डिजिटल फॉर्मेट में चेंज करना, इसके अलावा जो टीचर्स होते हैं उनको आईसीटी स्किल्स का ठीक से नॉलेज नहीं होता है और उन्हें बहुत ही परेशानी का सामना करना पड़ता है और ऑनलाइन क्लासेस के लिए जितना टेक्निकल टीचर को होना चाहिए उतना टीचर नहीं हो पाता है। ये ज़रूरी नहीं है, ऐसे में उन्हें नए तरीके से काम काज सीखने और क्लासेस चलाने के लिए बहुत ही ज़्यादा मेहनत करनी पड़ रही है। जो कॉन्सेप्ट हमें बुक्स में आसानी से मिल जाते हैं उन्हें नेट से भी स्टूडेंट्स के लिए ढूंढना और उन्हें शेयर करना टीचर्स के लिए बहुत ही मुश्किल हो गया है। कई बार घंटों सर्च करने के बाद भी सब्जेक्ट रिलेटेड वीडियोस ऑडियोज हमें नहीं मिल पाते हैं। टीचर्स क्लास कंडक्ट करने के बाद अगले ही दिन की क्लास के लिए घंटों नेट पर गुजारते हैं जिससे उन्हें बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम इसके लिए स्पेंड करना पड़ता है और इसके बाद भी पेरेंट्स जो होते हैं वो टीचर से संतुष्ट नहीं हो पाते हैं क्योंकि सच तो ये है कि कितना भी प्रयास किया जाए जो ऑनलाइन क्लासेस होती हैं वो फिजिकल क्लासेस की जगह नहीं ले सकती हैं। इसके अलावा टीचर्स के लिए प्रॉब्लम ये भी होती है कि उनके पास लैक ऑफ डिवाइसेस होते हैं, डिवाइसेस की कमी उनके पास होती है क्योंकि जो ये ऑनलाइन क्लासेस की जो जिम्मेदारी है वो अचानक ही टीचर्स पर आ गई है। इसके लिए वो तैयार नहीं थे। किसी भी टीचर्स के पास किसी के पास तो कंप्यूटर नहीं है, किसी के पास लैपटॉप नहीं है और कहीं कहीं तो इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी की भी प्रॉब्लम होती है या टीचर्स के खुद के बच्चे उस समय ऑनलाइन क्लासेस लेते हैं। ऐसे में एक समय में एक घर में 2 या 3 डिवाइस चाहिए। कुछ टीचर्स को स्मार्टफोन पर क्लास कराने की कोशिश की तो इतनी छोटी स्क्रीन पर बच्चों पर नजर रखना जो होता है संभव नहीं हो पाता है, तो ये टीचर्स के लिए एक बहुत बड़ी समस्या होती है। इसके अलावा अलग अलग एज ग्रुप के लिए अलग अलग प्रॉब्लम टीचर्स को फेस करना पड़ता है। इसमें जैसे जो ज़्यादा छोटे बच्चे होते हैं, बच्चा अगर ज़्यादा छोटा है तो उसके आगे कितना भी आप इंटरेस्टिंग मॉड्यूल बच्चे को रखकर पढ़ाइए, थोड़ी देर बाद जो होता है बच्चा उस इंटरेस्टिंग मॉड्यूल से भी जो होता है वो बोरिंग फील करने लगता है। और उससे पढ़ाई में कोई भी इंटरेस्ट नहीं होता। क्लास के टाइम पे बच्चा अक्सर क्या करता है, खाना खाने लगता है, सोने लगता है या खेलने लगता है। तो ये ऑनलाइन क्लासेस में जो होता है वो बच्चे के लिए बहुत बड़ी दिक्कत हो जाती है, खासकर छोटे बच्चों के लिए। और मम्मी पापा उनके बार बार उन्हें पकड़ के बैठाते हैं, लेकिन छोटे बच्चे जो होते हैं वो उसमें उतना इंटरेस्ट नहीं दिखाते हैं। इसके अलावा थोड़े जब बच्चे बड़े होते हैं तो उसके लिए अलग तरह की प्रॉब्लम्स का सामना करना पड़ता है। जैसे जो ये स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं वो टीचर से ज़्यादा टेक्निकल होते हैं और ऑनलाइन एप्लीकेशन पर भी उनका काफ़ी कमांड होता है, तो ये क्लास को बहुत डिस्टर्ब करते हैं। कई कई बार क्या होता है, बच्चे अलग अलग आईडी बनाकर भी क्लास में आ जाते हैं और टीचर्स को परेशान करते हैं। इससे जो होता है टीचर्स को ज़्यादा मेहनत और स्ट्रेस के बाद भी कई जगहों पर टीचर्स को जो होती है वो सैलरी की भी प्रॉब्लम होती है। किन्हीं किन्हीं स्कूल्स के द्वारा टीचर्स को 50% सैलरी, किसी किसी जगह 75%, किसी किसी जगह बिल्कुल भी सैलरी नहीं दे रहे हैं। इसके अलावा टीचर्स आर फेसिंग हाउ टू कीप स्टूडेंट्स टू अवॉइड देयर डिस्ट्रैक्शन फ्रॉम अदर सोशल नेटवर्किंग साइट्स ड्यूरिंग द लर्निंग पीरियड। टीचर्स स्टूडेंट्स को सपोर्ट करते हैं, उन्हें हर तरह से कोऑपरेट करते हैं, लेकिन फिर भी ऑनलाइन में ये एक बड़ी दिक्कत हो जाती है कि टीचर्स के लिए बहुत बड़ी जिम्मेदारी हो जाती है कि क्लास के साथ साथ टीचर्स बच्चों को कैसे अदर सोशल नेटवर्किंग से दूर रखकर उन्हें पढ़ाई करवा पाए। ये टीचर्स के लिए एक बहुत बड़ी चैलेंज की बात हो जाती है। इसके अलावा टीचर्स और स्टूडेंट्स दोनों के लिए एक बहुत बड़ी दिक्कत ये भी होती है कि उनके पास जो होती है वो इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी इश्यूज जो होती है वो बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम करता है। हमारी जो गवर्नमेंट है, इंडियन गवर्नमेंट, उन्होंने जो है वो एक भारत नेट योजना चलाई 2011 में, जिसमें उन्होंने हर ग्रामीण इलाकों में जो है वो इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी को पहुंचाने की पूरी कोशिश की, लेकिन अभी तक वो सिर्फ 2.5 लाख गाँव में ही ये सुविधा पहुंचा पाए हैं। और ग्रामीण इलाकों तक इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी ना होने की वजह से हमारे जो ग्रामीण इलाकों के बच्चे हैं उन तक ये सुविधा नहीं पहुंच पा रही है, जो एक बच्चों की शिक्षा से वंचित रहने का एक बहुत ही बड़ा कारण है। और इसके अलावा होता है, हमारे जो बच्चे होते हैं वो भी अलग अलग सोशल ग्रुप के होते हैं, उनके पास लैपटॉप और मोबाइल और इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी की सुविधा ना होने की वजह से वो इसको अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते, और उसकी वजह से भी उनकी जो पढ़ाई होती है वो पूरी नहीं हो पाती है। और जो हमारे टीचर्स होते हैं वो भी 4 से 5 घंटे के लिए क्लास तो लेते हैं, लेकिन अगले दिन उन्हें जो पढ़ाना है उसके लिए उन्हें अपनी तैयारी करने के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम स्पेंड करना पड़ता है। बच्चों के लिए जो असाइनमेंट बनाने पड़ते हैं या जो नोट्स बनाने पड़ते हैं या जो टेस्ट उनके लिए तैयार करने पड़ते हैं, उसके लिए टीचर्स को बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम स्पेंड करना पड़ता है। और ऑनलाइन क्लास जब टीचर लेते हैं तो उसमें बच्चा जो होता है वो लो और इरेगुलर अटेंडेंस होती है उसका अटेंशन कम होता है। टीचर हर एक बच्चा नहीं देख सकता है कि कौन बच्चा इंटरेस्ट के साथ पढ़ रहा है या कौन बच्चा इंटरेस्ट के साथ नहीं पढ़ रहा है। और इसमें जो होता है अलग अलग ऐप्स के थ्रू, जैसे जूम और बहुत सारे ऐप्स के थ्रू बच्चों को क्लासरूम टीचिंग कराते हैं, लेकिन इसमें कोई ऐप ऐसा भी हमारा इंट्रोड्यूस होना चाहिए कि उसमें बच्चे की मॉनिटरिंग हो सके कि ये बच्चा हमारा क्लास कर रहा है या अदर सोशल नेटवर्किंग में इन्वॉल्व हो रहा है। ये बहुत बड़ी दिक्कत होती है। जो बच्चे खुद से पढ़ लेते हैं वो तो इंटरेस्ट के साथ पढ़ते हैं, लेकिन कुछ बच्चे ऐसे भी होते हैं जो ऑनलाइन क्लास होती है और बच्चा किसी और जगह इन्वॉल्व रहता है, तो इस तरह की बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम बच्चे के आगे आती है। और जो टीचर्स होते हैं वो व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप या वर्चुअल पीटीएम के जरिए जो होते हैं पेरेंट्स से भी कनेक्ट रहते हैं, और स्टूडेंट्स अपने ऑनलाइन क्लासेस में ऑडियो करके अदर सोशल नेटवर्क साइट का यूज करते हैं। तो टीचर्स कोशिश तो करते हैं कि उस पर वो हो जाए, लेकिन वो पूरी तरह से उनसे बच्चों को नहीं बचा पाते हैं। तो ये एक जो होता है बहुत ही बड़ा चैलेंज होता है टीचर के आगे इसको वो करने का कि कैसे बच्चों को उससे बचाया जा सके। लेकिन बहुत सारी चुनौतियां हमारे सामने होती है, तो बहुत सारे अवसर भी होते हैं। जैसे कुछ टीचर्स ऐसे होते हैं जो छोटे छोटे स्कूलों या इंस्टीट्यूट में जॉब करते हैं और उन्हें कोई भी नहीं जानता, लेकिन फिर भी उनकी जो ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन है वो इतनी अच्छी होती है कि बच्चों को उनकी पढ़ाई समझ में आने लगती है, और वो यूट्यूब के थ्रू या किसी अदर सोशल साइट के थ्रू जो होता है वो बच्चों को अदर बच्चे भी उनसे मोटिवेट हो जाते हैं और उन टीचर्स के थ्रू बच्चों की पढ़ाई होती है। तो ये जरूरी नहीं कि ऑनलाइन ये जो कि हर एक के लिए चैलेंजिंग ही है। कुछ बच्चों को इससे बहुत सारे अवसर भी कुछ टीचर्स को इससे बहुत सारे मौके भी मिल जाते हैं कि वो बच्चों को मोटिवेट करके उनको इंटरेस्टिंग तरीके से सब्जेक्ट को पढ़ा सके। तो ये था हमारा सेशन। Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Deepmala Talwar. And she says that there are lots of challenges in this because of this COVID-19 and because of the lockdown, which they have to face. And the first challenge is the online education because of the internet problems, because of the lack of devices in a house due to the economic reasons, and thirdly, the teachers are not geared up to how to teach online. And there are so many problems which she has explained. The one is very alarming, which she says that if the child is small, then it is very difficult to teach him or her, because the child after some time goes off to sleep or want to eat something, and it's very difficult that he or she will sit in front of the screen. But what she said, those who are grown-up child or the teenagers, they have a peculiar problem, that is they create a fake IDs and then they try to disturb the class, which is a really alarming thing. And I'm sure the civil society must come out with some solution, because after all, it's the question of not only for the teachers, but it's the question of the future of the nation, when the teenagers, if they are going to involve themselves in such type of activities. And she has also said, yes, there are some positive points also. But one more point which she has mentioned is also alarming, that is only approximately less than 1.5 lakhs internet connections. Correct, Ms. Deepmala, what you mentioned is reached to the villages. We have 6.5 lakhs villages in India. It means how many students, those who are staying in the villages. I gave the figure
2.5 lakhs.
Okay, 2.5 lakhs. So she said 2.5 lakhs, but still the gap is 4 lakhs. 4 lakhs villagers in India are not having the internet connection. If they are not having internet connection, what is the fate of those students? Why? So the question comes, which I asked in one of the earlier media conference, where the Vice Chancellor of Mangalore University was also present, that why not the government of India is declaring this as a 0 year? Because it shows that only those who can afford, or those who are urban students, the rich class, they are going to get the advantage of this year. Those who are poor, or those who are staying in the villages where the internet connections are either not there, or if they are there, where the speed is very less, or the electricity problem is there. It means we are differentiating between the students of the India. We are giving the education only to those who can afford, or who are staying in a city, not in a village. Anyway, that is a typical thing which no one has replied today, because it's a very difficult thing to reply whether we should declare it's a 0 year or not. Now my question is to Dr. Rajiv Anand. Dr. Rajiv Anand, you have heard all the teachers, their challenges, their problems, where earlier they were working. One of the panelists said that they were working for 6 hours. They used to go there, they used to take the class, they come back to their staff room. Although she has not mentioned, but we know, because we all are studied, and then they prepared for the next class, go there, teach, and come back. So at least there is some relaxation. But here they have to be on net, and they have to do their household work. Now, definitely, and then they says that because it is very difficult for teaching on net, because they have to send the notes in advance, they have to Google search many times. It is not available, those videos or those details which they require to send to the students. So they have to work extra hours apart from the household responsibility which they are taking. Now, it means definitely it is impacting on their physical health as well as on mental health, because they were not habitual sitting on the screen for 6 hours continuously. And you know well, and I also know now doing this media conference, that's very tough to sit in front of the screen continuously. Now you are seeing so many patients. Now, how you are assessing the teacher's mental ability, and what you think, how they are coping up, And what is your advice to the teachers, especially because they are coming to you for their mental problems, and apart from others, what is your assessment as far as the teachers are concerned? Dr. Rajivanand, please.
In fact, it was very enlightening and very learning experience to listen to all the three teachers, Raja sir, Deepmala, and Mona Chadha. From distance, we all assume that we know everything about other profession, and we become experts, commentator, and that's a blunder which many of us do. In fact, I have no qualms in saying so that I learned many things about their profession and the hardship which they have gone through. So my request to everyone connected to the teachers, be it Mr. Raja, who has a family back home, his wife and his children, or be it both the young ladies who have a family who expect them to serve the good meal, that let family members celebrate it that they have someone who is doing the God's special work of being a teacher. All of us have heard about that Guru Gobind Singh's Guru Diyo Bataye. Yani people have celebrated in our society teacher above the God who guides us to the God. Teacher is much more celebrated and revered and worshipped because he is creating the responsible citizen of the society in future. So maybe someone, maybe my wife, or maybe my brother, or my father, or my neighbor who is in the teaching job, and we do not look up at him or celebrate him with the due reverence, with the due respect. We just take it as his profession. He's earning money. Far from it. We should accord more space, more peace, more understanding in whatever way we can make to facilitate his work, be it as a husband or as a wife or as a family member or as children. I would also request to Mr. Raja sir and other people who are in the teaching profession, think about making a 6x6 cubicle at home. If the lockdown period or if this period continues for a few more months, 6x6, where you can have a table and a chair and an insulated atmosphere where you can work peacefully, cut off from the world outside, where you can connect to your student on a laptop. This is part one. Part two, I would also look forward to powers that be wheresoever to make things easier for the student. When a smart TV of less known brand can come down to 20,000 rupees per set, then a smart TV with the facility of a camera or YouTube or Zoom connection can be brought down in less than 10,000, or a small screen or a tablet size. If this could be made available, then I'm sure that many people who are staying in the countryside or in the semi-urban areas, rural areas, would also have access to better teaching matters. Last point, that this period has made us also aware positively that learning can be triggered through technology in innumerable ways. And this is a great impetus. People sitting anywhere in the world cannot say that we cannot be a part of a greater or higher learning process. They can be. They can be. Provided we all look forward to and we all make sure that things are made easier for them to log into. Thank you very much, Mr. Lal.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anand. Mr. Raja, although you are the teacher and we were always a student, but it's very difficult to ask a question to a teacher, but it's my job to ask. You have mentioned about history, and you have said that, and it's a very pertinent point you have made. You said that the such and such war was fought in that year. What is the use for teaching this now because of this change in the technology and the change in scenario? So you mean to say, my question is to you is that instead of going for a history, old histories, now we must teach the students about the new technology, how this company, how the Microsoft or how the Apple, how the internet was invented, who invented, what was the technology used, instead of going to the historians thinks that so and so war took place at Panipat or so and so place of this year. Instead of that, we will say that this the internet was invented on this year by so and so, and this so and so has created the Zoom. so and so has created the Google Meet or the Google Classroom, and so on forth. What you say about this, Mr. Raja?
Yeah, I would like to say, I always ask this my students that this internet, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Some of the students, they say, sir, it is a good thing. Some of the students say it is okay, okay. But actually, internet, it is a very good thing also, and it is a very bad thing also. Like suppose if you make a good use of it, na, then it is a boom, it is a privilege, it is an asset for us. But if you misuse it, then it is the worst thing. Like suppose if I talk about a knife, is knife a good thing or a bad thing? Like if you are using a knife for cutting vegetables, knife is a very useful instrument. But if a person is using knife to hurt somebody, then it is a very dangerous thing. So it is very necessary that we parents must keep an eye on children, because now everything is on their fingertips. Matlab, the technology has become so fast, and our children are 10 times smarter than what we were, because their upbringing has happened in a totally different environment. We were lucky that during when my childhood there was no cable TV, there was no thing, so we were protected. But now they are the children of today, they are exposed to so many dangers. Matlab, everybody, all these people like video games, TV, everybody are pulling children towards themselves, and they are distracting them. So internet is a very good thing, but proper guidance is always required. And like you can have internet is a very good thing in a way that, like, for buying an internet, it will cost you, like a laptop will cost you 30-40,000. But if you use it for some doing artwork, or you would work with it, there is no limit. You can also earn 40 lakhs out of it. So it is a very good thing, but it is also a very bad thing. You have to be, but the parental guidance is always required.
My question, Mr. Raja, is that instead of teaching the old history, which
Yes.
we were teaching to the student, you mentioned that
Yes,
we were
yes,
teaching
yes.
about the wars, earlier wars fought in India or abroad. Now, instead of that, we must teach them the technology to the children or the students, that in giving them the latest thing, where the teacher will also update, and the teacher will, instead of going for those histories, because that history is now away. We can teach them about the coronavirus, we can teach them about the vaccine, the new things which are coming up,
Yes.
instead of teaching the old thing. What you say about that?
Yes, definitely, definitely. There need to be change in the traditional method of teaching. It is like all these things which happened, like the India, how we independence we got. History is good for taking a lesson so that we don't repeat our mistakes. But now it is done. We are done with it. Now the times keep on changing. Change is the most certain thing that happens in our life. So if we don't update ourselves, if we don't upgrade ourselves along with the time, we will be left behind. So now new things are coming up, like that Whitehead Junior is teaching coding and how to make apps, and young children are learning this. This is going to change drastically. Now the thing has to change. It is very important.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Raja. Now my question is to Miss Mona. Miss Mona, you said that the parents are calling, parents are assessing. It means earlier you used to have what I know, that used to be a PTA, the Parent Teachers Association meeting, once in a month or so, where you used to tell the parents that this was done by the students. And they were not knowing, because they are not in the classroom present. But now they are present in the classroom in that way, that because you are teaching online and they are watching everything, many of the parents, I'm not saying everyone, and they are assessing the teachers. They are forgetting one thing, that the teacher has to teach. But if somebody is assessing externally, he or she is not a student, the parents, don't you think it is not a healthy situation for a teacher? Because your assessment because there was a report somewhere in the Bangalore or somewhere, where the parents have filed a complaint that the teachers are not teaching properly. How do you think this is a wrong trend which is going on, that the parents are coming and interfering with the work of you? Miss Mona Chadda, please.
Actually, earlier what used to happen, as you said, that there was a parent-teacher meeting in the school once in a month or after 15 days. Parents used to come, we used to tell the report of our children. But now what is going on in these days, that parents are sitting beside their children also. And sometimes you know that parents are interrupting in the classes also these days. In my class, when I am teaching, like some of the parents, they are interrupting. That ma'am, he was about to tell the answer, but you asked the other child or something like that. So I need to tell them. I need to explain them. I need to make them ready that this is a class going on, because they are not ready with that it's a class going on and you need not to enter. So as far as this good or bad is concerned, that somehow it is good also that parents, everything is transparent now. So children, they have not get the advantage to tell the wrong things to their parents, because in the school what used to happen sometimes, that children were taking the wrong messages to their parents, that something was told in the class and this and that. Then parents were writing in the diaries that we have come to know about this and that. Now at least, if it is a bad part, then somehow it is good also that parents are sitting beside their children and everything is transparent. Whatever we are teaching, whatever, how we are dealing our children, whatever we are telling our concept, that parents are also getting and they are also understanding. Main thing for the teachers is that it is again a tough for the teachers, that if she comes in a class of any subject, she has to be confident about her subject, about her teaching, about her behavior, what she is dealing, what she is saying. Because no matter that, so many, the links are given to a number of people, irrespective of their parents also. So everybody, you don't know that who is watching you at this time. In the classes, so 57 or 58 students are watching. And if principal has to watch, then she can watch or she can come in the class. But here, all the parents, neighbors, and so we also don't know who all are watching. So for this, it is quite good that everything is transparent, but something or it should not be there, because some privacy between the teacher and the student should be there, because teachers also feel some privacy or some freeness to tell the children. Somehow sometimes teachers are feeling that, oh, if I'll say this word, parents are sitting, how they are feeling, how they will feel, or what they are saying. So somehow in the class, it is good that the privacy is there. We are totally free to deal with our children in our own way. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Mona. And so you have given both the sides, the positive and negative side of this assessment of the parents on daily basis. Thank you very much. Ms. Deepmala, my question to you is, you mentioned about the internet, you mentioned about the difficulties which teachers are facing. In other countries, when there is a online education or online work from home, either the corporates or the companies or the school is giving extra payment to the teachers or those who are working from home for organizing their things every day, means every month they are giving extra payment to the tune of approximately in Indian rupees about 10,000 rupees a month or 5,000 rupees a month or 3,000 whatsoever, so that they can afford to have the internet connection, they can have the proper device, they can have all those things which they require proper, so that there should be no disturbance. And like Dr. Anand has mentioned about some isolated room, etc., whatsoever is required. Don't you think, you have worked with a government department, don't you think in India, especially for teachers, government should come out with a scheme, whether you are associated with a private college or a school or a government school, government should come out, because government is giving lots of money to the MSMEs or the farmers or the migrants. But if for the teachers, don't you think that the government should come out with a scheme when they must pay a certain amount per month, so that the teachers can teach properly without any tension, without any problems of the internet or the device or other tensions? What you say about this, Ms. Deepmala Talwar?
सबसे पहले तो गवर्नमेंट को कुछ टीचिंग लर्निंग मटेरियल्स ऐसे तैयार कराने चाहिए जो वो बच्चों तक पहुंचवा सकें। जैसे जब पेरेंट्स स्कूल में बच्चों को मिड डे मील या आंगनबाड़ी के थ्रू उन बच्चों को जो है वो कुछ ऐसे मटेरियल्स उपलब्ध करवा दें जो प्रिंटेड मटेरियल हो, और वो बच्चे जो हैं वो अपने घरों पे उसकी प्रैक्टिस कर सकें। और उसके लिए गवर्नमेंट को इस काम में बहुत मदद करनी चाहिए कि वो सबसे पहले तो ये ऐसे मटेरियल्स तैयार करवाए जो बच्चों को उपलब्ध करवाए जा सके। इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी की प्रॉब्लम है तो उसकी भी समस्या को दूर करना चाहिए और बच्चों तक जो भी हमारे गरीब बच्चे हैं या ग्रामीण इलाकों के बच्चे हैं उनके पास ये सुविधाएं उपलब्ध नहीं है, गवर्नमेंट को उन तक ये सुविधा उपलब्ध करवानी चाहिए, तभी ये पॉसिबल हो सकता है। उसके अलावा ये जो इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी सबसे ज़्यादा इशू रखती है। अक्सर बच्चों का फ्लो तो पढ़ाई के लिए बनता है, धीरे धीरे अचानक से ये कनेक्टिविटी चली जाती है या और अदर प्रॉब्लम्स भी होती है, डिस्ट्रैक्शन की प्रॉब्लम होती है। तो ये दिक्कत को गवर्नमेंट को दूर करने के लिए उनको कुछ मटेरियल उपलब्ध करवाने चाहिए।
नहीं, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये नहीं था, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था दीपमाला जी कि मटेरियल तो ठीक है, मटेरियल तो गवर्नमेंट करा रही है और ऑनलाइन भी काफी कुछ मटेरियल है, लेकिन अगर टीचर्स को, जैसे आप लोगों ने बताया, दिक्कतें आ रही हैं, कई जगह पेमेंट नहीं मिल रहा है कॉलेजेस से, स्कूलों से, जहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स नहीं है, तो क्या गवर्नमेंट को इसमें आगे बढ़ के आगे आकर आप लोगों को, टीचर्स कम्युनिटी को कोई ना कोई एक फाइनेंशियल पैकेज देना चाहिए जिससे टीचर बिना किसी टेंशन के, क्योंकि जैसा बताया डॉक्टर राजीव आनंद ने कि बच्चों को पढ़ाने के लिए हार्ट से, दिल से पढ़ाना पड़ता है, दिमाग के अलावा दिल भी चाहिए। तो अगर आपको लगता है कि अगर गवर्नमेंट अगर इसमें आप लोगों की मदद करेगी तो आप लोग और ज्यादा कंसंट्रेट करके अच्छे ढंग से स्टूडेंट्स को पढ़ा पाएंगे, क्योंकि आफ्टर ऑल जो देश है हमारा या विश्व है उसका जो फ्यूचर है वो इन स्टूडेंट्स के ऊपर है। अगर ये लोग अच्छे ढंग से नहीं पढ़ेंगे और ये साल ऐसा चला जाएगा या 2 साल ऐसे चले जाएंगे तो क्या फ्यूचर होगा? सोचिए कंट्री कितना पीछे चला जाएगा। तो आपका क्या लगता नहीं है कि गवर्नमेंट को इसके लिए सोचना चाहिए सीरियसली?
सर, दो चीजें हैं, जैसे कि एक तो उन्हें एक्स्ट्रा पेमेंट भी दे सकते हैं और कुछ टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम्स है जो टीचर्स के पास, उसको भी दूर करने के लिए टीचर्स को कुछ टेक्निकल नॉलेज भी देना चाहिए, क्योंकि वो भी एक बहुत बड़ा इशू है कि बहुत सारे टीचर्स ऐसे होते हैं जो वो ऑनलाइन के उसमें जो होता है थोड़ा सा वीक होते हैं और टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम की वजह से वो बच्चों को ठीक से नहीं पढ़ा पाते हैं। तो एक तो एक्स्ट्रा पेमेंट और उन्हें टेक्निकल नॉलेज थोड़ा सा देने से इसमें इम्प्रूवमेंट होगा।
Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Rajiv Anand, are you there? Dr. Rajiv Anand, are you there right now?
I'm here.
Okay, Dr. Rajiv Anand, I want, because you have heard everyone, and you being a psychiatrist and leading psychologist in Mumbai, we want your concluding remarks about today's media conference. What you say about this in just a summarized one, in a 1 minute, please.
Please mute Deepmala Talwar. Please mute your.
I will mute. Yes, please.
Yeah, in fact, what I would say, looking forward, there are better lessons learned. There are greater privileges we have got after this lockdown period. The lockdown has opened much more vistas, much better opportunities for learning and teaching through the network or through the internet. If there are buildings, good enough. If there are huge colleges building, good enough. If huge school building, good enough. If there is infrastructure, welcome. But even in those remote places where there is no possibility of infrastructure, yet the village student can still study through the internet. As we have heard, the television was initially invented as a medium for education. Then whatever happened later on is a different story. Similarly, these 8 months have taught all of us across the board that people can learn through internet, through technology, and great lot they can learn. I am looking forward to this possibility being explored. As Mr. Lal has said in the first opening remark, 6 billion students across the world are not going to school. 90 million teachers have not been going to school. And there are much more who can still be taught through the internet. Thank you, Mr. Lal.
Thank you very much. So today you have seen the challenges which the teachers are facing and the lessons they have learned. But the thing is it the responsibility only of the government? What about the civil society? After all, the children belongs to whom? They are my child, your children, my children, everybody's children. Why not the civil society come forward and take this, that we must give the full respect to the teachers? After all, they are doing good for our own children. They are not doing for their own children. They are doing for the children, for the entire society. So it is the responsibility of the society, the civil society, not only the government, to come forward, see to it that the teachers, wherever they are, whosoever they are, which community they belong, they must be given full respect, as well as if they require some financial assistance, they must come forward and see to it that their teachers should be tension free. Then only they can teach all of our children, the children of this nation. Then only the future of the nation will be safe in this generation. Thank you very much for joining us today. And today's live telecast was shown live on V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, News Gaon Se, Samvad Sarokar News, as well as it was shown live on YouTube and Facebook. And our endeavor is to bring to you every day new topics. And tomorrow, as you know, that India has gone to Australia, Indian cricket team, to play the match there. So tomorrow, media conference with Lal Goyal is called Chak De India. And our panelists are Mr. Surendra Khanna, member Indian Premier League IPL Governing Council, as well as he was the former international Indian cricketer, batsman, wicketkeeper. From Chandigarh, he is joining, and Wing Commander Arjit Ghosh, former Ranji Trophy cricketer, coach and match referee, former Secretary, Air Force Sports Board. He is also joining from Bangalore. So please tune in tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. for media conference with Lal Goyal. So thank you very much, Dr. Rajiv Anand. Thank you very much, Mr. Raja. Thank you very much, Ms. Mona. Thank you very much, Ms. Geetmala, for joining us and giving your enlightening view. And I'm sure that our viewers are also enlightened and will definitely start respecting more for the teachers. Thank you very much.